Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. We have some major updates with regard to a whole slew of different proceedings with regard to people who aren't that smart. So I'm going to jump into that. Before I do, I want to throw out a special thank you to Tom Smith 1038. Tom Smith, thank you so very much for that super comment. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support, Tom Smith 1038. All right, with that, let's jump into this. This is a fairly new update from the Office of Inspector General. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Criminal investigation updates, or investigative updates, if you will. And so let's jump into it. New York man pleads guilty to groping a nurse student at Albany VA Medical Center. Wonderful. And it says Danny Lake of Scotia, New York, pleaded guilty to abusive sexual conduct. Lake, a patient at the Albany VA Medical Center, admitted that he groped a nursing student as she was giving him medical care and said that he would do the same thing again if he had the opportunity. Oh, wow. Lake faces up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. The VA OIG investigated this case. 2 years in prison and $250,000. Yeah, probably wouldn't do that again. But there, he said it. People. All right, next one. VA nurse charged with unlawfully accessing patient health information. So, for those of you that wonder if that ever happens, it happens. All right, Jessica Nicole Pitcher of Shelbyville, Michigan, was charged by misdemeanor information with unlawfully accessing health information pertaining to a patient without authorization at the VA Medical Center in Battle Creek, Michigan. If convicted, Pitcher faces a maximum penalty of 1 year in prison and a maximum fine of $100,000. The VA OIG and Battle Creek VA police are investigating this case. I don't know. I don't know the backstory. Maybe her ex is a patient there, and so she was looking in that. Who knows, right? Moving on. Massachusetts man sentenced for stealing funds intended for at-risk veterans. All right, so this is district is New Hampshire, and it says David Duran of Haverhill, or Haver, I don't know, Hill, Massachusetts, was sentenced to 15 months in prison for defrauding a nonprofit health care provider in Neshoa, I'm not sure how you say it, New Hampshire, of nearly $50,000 in program funds. He oversaw a program funded by $750,000 Staff Sergeant Fox Suicide Prevention Grant, awarded by the VA to provide treatment and services to veterans at risk of suicide. The VA, OIG, and FBI investigated this case. Next one here is pharmaceutical company and its CEO agree to pay $47 million for allegedly paying kickbacks to induce claims for their drug. Wonderful. Pharmaceutical company QOL Medical LLC and its co-owner and CEO Frederick Cooper have agreed to pay $47 million to resolve allegations that they caused the submission of false claims to the federal health care programs in violation of the False Claims Act by offering kickbacks in the form of free carbon-13 breath testing services to induce claims for QOL's drug, whatever it is, Sucrade. Sucrade is used to treat a rare genetic condition called congestional sarcoidosis. It'll be in the description. QOL distributed the carbon-13 breath test kits to healthcare providers, claiming that the test can diagnose CSID specifically when in fact it does not. QOL paid the laboratory to analyze the breath tests and report the results to healthcare providers. QOL disseminated the results to its sales force with instructions to pitch Sucrade to healthcare providers whose patients tested positive for carbon-13. The VA OIG, Defense Criminal Investigation Service, Department of Health and Human Services OIG, and the FBI Boston Field Office investigated that case. Missouri healthcare company owner accused of $800,000 fraud. Nativia Boyd Wells, the owner of Touch of Heart Home Healthcare LLC, was indicted by federal grand jury and accused of defrauding the Missouri Medicaid program and VA out of more than $800,000, according to the indictment. Boyd Wells submitted hundreds of fraudulent claims for services that she knew were never provided. In some cases, because the veteran patient were actually in the hospital and could not possibly have received home health care services, Missouri Medicaid paid at least $197,000 to a bank account controlled by Boyd Wells, and VA funded reimbursement payments of more than $600,000. The VA OIG and the Missouri Attorney General Medicaid Fraud Control Unit invested the case. Now, that's the updates so far for you. I did want to throw out that we are in the holiday season, and it seems to me as though fraud kind of percolates during this time of year. Be careful out there. If you don't have some sort of protections in place, research different protections out there, whether it's protecting your credit report, monitoring programs, just protecting your PII, right? Making sure that people don't have access to all of your information, and keep a lookout on things. And if it looks kind of funny, probably don't click on it. Speaking from experience, I've had, sometimes things look super legit. Next thing you know, you have been compromised. So take the opportunity to look at things, research things. If you see an email from somebody that you don't recognize and it's not something that you're expecting, probably don't click on it, especially the attachments and so forth within. If you're not quite sure, get a family member to also look at it, get a second set of eyes on it. Sometimes what will happen will be is the organization that's emailing you may say they're a specific organization, like let's say Chase Bank, because they have a lot of customers. You might be a Chase customer. So they say, hey, this is an important message from Chase. Well, the email might be, John Doe at gmail.com. Well, they're not going to be emailing you from gmail.com, first of all. And second, you can call your bank directly and find out if they sent you some sort of an email regarding anything. Just be diligent, be mindful, be aware. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.